This partial government shutdown is poised to become the second longest in history, and there's no end in sight. The two sides can't even agree on how the talks are going. The White House said Sunday's discussions were productive, but a Democratic official countered that no progress was made, and it all comes as the real-life consequences are escalating all across the country. This morning, the shutdown showdown deepening. Despite a flurry of weekend meetings, the two sides still deadlocked over the president's demand for $5 billion for the border wall.
Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and myself can solve this in 20 minutes if they want to. If they don't want to, it's going to go on for a long time. There's not going to be any bend right here.
But the president may be bending on one aspect, now saying the wall doesn't have to be made of concrete, as he repeatedly promised on the campaign trail.
Beautiful precast concrete going up.
His new message, steel is just as good.
They don't like concrete, so we'll give them steel. Steel is fine.
But Democrats have insisted funding for a border wall is a non-starter, regardless of what it's called or what it's made of.
A wall is an immorality. It's not who we are as a nation.
And in a bid to try to turn up the heat on Democrats, on Sunday, President Trump again threatened to declare a national emergency and unilaterally send troops to the border.
We're looking at a national emergency because we have a national emergency.
Such a move would undoubtedly face legal challenges. Democrats fired back.
This president doesn't have the power to declare an emergency and build a multi-billion-dollar wall on the border.
The shutdown is threatening to halt payments from food stamps to tax refunds, and 800,000 federal workers won't receive paychecks. In fact, a document sent out last week from the Office of Personnel Management encouraged workers to barter with their landlords over rent. For his part, President Trump raised eyebrows when pressed by NBC's Kelly O'Donnell.
I can relate, and I'm sure that the people that are on the receiving end will make adjustments.
Now, don't expect any major progress today. Congress doesn't come back to Washington until Tuesday. And while President Trump has said there will be meetings throughout the week, Democrats say so far there are none scheduled. Savannah and Hoda.
Kristen, there's a report out that some Trump supporters and allies are concerned about misinformation now getting right to the president's desk. What is this all about?
Well, that's right, Savannah. As we've reported, former Chief of Staff John Kelly, who departed recently, was focused on regulating the information and news stories that made their way to the president's desk. And now there are concerns with Kelly's departure that there's been a flood of misinformation getting to Mr. Trump. Axios reports that former White House officials have expressed concerns about a Wild West-like atmosphere returning to the West Wing. According to Axios, those former officials note the president has made a number of recent statements that have been fact-checked, false or misleading. We did reach out to the White House about all of this. So far, no comment. Savannah and Hoda.
Kristen Welker leading us off. Thank you.